My name is Aina. I'm 16 years old, and if you had met me a few years ago, you would never have guessed I'd become a handball player. Honestly, you probably wouldn't even have guessed I liked sports. I was small, quiet, the type of girl who tried to blend into the hallways of our public middle school in the Bronx. I grew up in a neighborhood where the rumble of the subway was like a heartbeat, where street vendors shouted from corner to corner, and where basketball courts were always full no matter the weather. Handball wasn't common around here. Most people didn't even know the rules. But I remember my father telling me one morning, before heading to his construction job, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding." Proverbs 3-5, he said it while tying his work boots, the smell of coffee filling our narrow apartment. I didn't understand the depth of those words back then. I was just a kid. To me, it sounded like something adults said to sound wise. But years later, those words would become the anchor that held my life together. I was 12 when my gym teacher at PS 112 practically pushed me into trying out for a small after-school handball program. She said I ran like someone who carries fire in her lungs. I laughed because I didn't feel like fire. I felt like fog, scattered, slow, unsure. The first time I touched a handball, it felt strange. Heavier than a basketball, even though it was smaller and rougher against my skin. The gym smelled like old rubber mats and sweat, the long fluorescent lights buzzing above our heads. The echoes of the ball slamming against the walls felt like thunder. Something inside me stirred. Not confidence, just curiosity. But curiosity is sometimes the door that leads us into the life we never expected. When a coach from a youth sports program in Brooklyn came to observe our session, I hid behind the taller girls. I didn't want to be noticed. I didn't want expectations. But still, he noticed me. After practice, he called me aside and said, "You're not the strongest, but you're fearless without knowing you're fearless." I didn't respond. I just thought about my father's verse again. Maybe trusting was the first step. By 14, I was officially part of the Brooklyn Youth Handball League. Nothing fancy, just mismatched jerseys and borrowed gym time in an old school building in Bushwick. But to me, it felt like wearing a future I never imagined for myself. The practices were intense. Bruises on my shins became normal. The solace of my shoes thinned out from the rough wooden floor. I traveled by bus and sometimes by subway, carrying my backpack and my handball gear stuffed inside a plastic bag because we couldn't afford a proper sports duffel. My mom, who worked long hours at a laundromat, would wait for me with a warm bowl of soup on the table. She always said, "If God put this dream in your path, He will give you strength." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But believing is hard when you are the one who keeps missing the shots. During my first real game, I missed 3 goals in a row. 3, the kind of mistake that turns heads. I remember walking off the court, feeling like I had swallowed glass. When I got home, my dad was sitting by the window, still wearing his dusty work clothes. He asked me what happened. And when I told him, he didn't scold me. He didn't even look disappointed. He simply said, "You're judging yourself based on what you think you understand. But God sees beyond your mistakes. Trust Him, Aina." That night, for the first time, I didn't pray to win. I prayed to stay, to keep going, to not give up on myself. End of part 1. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to the channel.